Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2492. Today, we are talking about one of my favorite topics. Obituaries are miniature family history books. We're going to have a look at what information you can find in an obituary. I have got my maiden name, which is Eakins. I've got that set up on newspapers.com. I've done a search for that with obituary, Eakins and obituary. So we'll go see what we can find and have a look at some of those, and got them in certain years. I haven't put country in there, just picked the US because it's the most popular one. And so we'll go have a look at some obituaries so we can have a look at them and see what sort of information they contain. And obituaries are one of the most overlooked genealogy resources. Jeepers. So obituaries are one of the most overlooked genealogy resources. Many people skim past them, but you shouldn't. No, there is so much information in them. Experienced genealogists read every line carefully. You may ask why? Because obituaries often contain an incredible amount of family history in just a few paragraphs. They can reveal parents' names. They can reveal spouses' names, children, grandchildren, maiden names, places lived, occupations they've had, if they were in the service, the military service, if they're part of any organization or association, church involvement, community connections, family relationships that may not appear anywhere else. And it may just list like they will go father of or mother of, and then it will list the children. And here's the key: it lists the children in the age order. So it always lists the children in age order. And if it has and the first name is usually their child, and the second name, if it's got Barry and Susan, then Susan is married as the daughter-in-law and Barry is the son. So think of things like that when you're looking at that. And and it would have whatever their last name is. So in this case, it could be that the name of the person, their last name of the person that died was Smith. So you've got Barry and Susan, and then there's nothing, and they might have the place where they live. Then it might go Jennifer and John, and it'll have John Morris being their last name because Jennifer is the daughter. Jennifer got married to John Morris. So there's things like that we can have a look at, and we'll have a look at samples of these too. Sometimes an obituary confirms an entire branch of a family tree. It will have, survived by spouse, the wife, the husband, whoever the spouse is, survived by their children, have all of those names listed there. Survived by siblings, and it'll list out the siblings as well. Same thing. If the woman has a different last name, it means that she got married. That's the sister. It may list all the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren and the cousins. It may list all of those. I have seen some obituaries that were almost at least half a page of a newspaper. There was a lot of people in there. But it shows, but when that sort of thing happens, it shows how involved in the family life that person was, how much they were treasured, because the person who died didn't write the obituary unless they wrote it before they passed at some point in time with what they wanted to say. But typically it's somebody close, either a family member or somebody close to the family, that will put in there the information. And sometimes, like I said, we can see the whole entire branch of a family tree where you've got the person who died, their spouse, their children, their grandchildren, and the great-grandchildren, if there's a great-grandchildren. And then it'll go sideways to here are the siblings, here are the sister-in-law, here are the brothers and sisters, and here are our in-laws, which means it's from the wife's side of the family. Then it might have the parent predeceased by the parents' names. There may be a sibling or a grandchild or a child that they are predeceased by as well, would all be listed in there. That shows you that that person was a valued member of the family. For somebody to have thought so highly of them, to have and have so much love for them, that they did this complete genealogy in the obituary. And then it may go on to different services and associations that they, belong to. If they did military service, that would be listed in there. Any other occupations would be listed. It'll be a very detailed, obituary. Now, other times, it might provide that one clue needed to break through the brick wall. You know how we all get brick walls, and reading an obituary very carefully, line by, I actually print them out. Do I have one printed out? Oh, it's on the dining table. Where you print it out, I print out the obituary, and I will sit there with my highlighters. I have different colored highlighters. Highlighters is for the main person who passed, any information about them, any military service that they had, any maiden names, any occupations will go into that. Then when it comes to the children, it's like, okay, these are their children, and then these are the spouses of those children. Sometimes it will turn around and list the grandchildren, but a lot of the times with the grandchildren, it will start with the oldest one and will work its way through. The oldest grandchild doesn't necessarily belong to the oldest child. There are times that the youngest will have the oldest grandchildren, and the other ones just catch up somewhere along the way. But by having this detail, and it may even list in there in the grandchildren's names, the names of the parents as well, or it might put the names of the parents with, and in parentheses put the grandchildren's names. There's all different ways of people reporting it. Other times, but beyond the facts, obituaries can tell us something deeply human. They show what mattered to a person. So if somebody's written a very detailed obituary, that person was highly thought of, highly loved. They want them to be remembered. They show the kind of life that they live, where they were very family orientated. They show who loved them with the memories, how they were remembered in that obituary. It shows up how they were remembered in that obituary. And they show that by listing this whole genealogy thing in there with the cousins and the aunts and the uncles and everything else, they just want to show that this person was very much a family person, very much a highly sought, regarded member of the family. See, genealogy is not just about finding records. It's about understanding lives. And obituaries are often miniature family history books quietly waiting to be read. So when was the last time you read an obituary? Now, I can take you to another... Let's see if I can get into this site quickly today. Okay. Yeah, that should work. Oh, those are a little... Let's go into that age group. Okay, I'm just having a quick look here to see if we can get into this one fairly easy. I'm going to go just a little older. I'm going to go 01 of 2015. Oh, gee, this is stupid mouse. Of 2020. Let's see if it has anybody. Okay, that gives me a couple there as well. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take you over to... Now let's go have a look at newspapers.com, because they have really cool obituaries in there. This is how they appeared in the newspaper. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Okay, yes. All right, let me go over there. Newspapers. Okay, so this one I put an Eakins obituary from 1840 to 1940. I did not put a town or a country or anything else. I just, let's go see. So it will look for a page that has both Eakins and obituary on it, not necessarily together. They used to have a categories where you could go in here and you click on obituaries and it will show only the obituaries. But I wanted to show you something, that if you did the search this way, you could end up with articles like this. That was in the Beaumont Journal in Texas, Beaumont, Texas, Saturday, October the 10th, 1936. Here is the obituary, and then Eakins reaches the Philippines. I got to go back and read some of these because I was looking at some of them going, oh, that was a report. I don't recall having a reporter in the family. I might have to go research this one. So this one here says Nicholas Field, Manila. Let's see if we can make this bigger for you guys to be able to read. Nicholas Field, Manila, Philippine Islands, October the 10th. H.R. Eakins, which actually happens to my dad's RH. Leader in the reporters race around the world, landed here today in a KNILM plane at 5:55 p.m. Manila time, which is 1:55 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, delayed nearly an hour by heavy rains between Zamboanga and Luzon. I'm probably mispronouncing these names. Sorry. My apologies. I'm not good at pronouncing things. I see it. I pronounce how it's written. That's how I did a whole show on the Galapagos instead of the Galapagos, and my mum's never forgotten how to spell lingerie because I keep calling it lingerie. The plane landed on a wet field, bringing the New York World Telegram Scripps Howard correspondent to his last Far Eastern terminal. Eakins inquired as to whereabouts of his two rivals, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen from New York, Journal International News Service correspondent, and Leo Kieran, New York Times North American Newspaper Alliance. He was informed that they were en route from Jodhpur, India, to Calcutta, almost 5 days' travel and nearly 5,000 miles behind him. So that's about an Eakins that was doing a reporter's race around the world. I've got to go look up him. And then over here we have an obituary that for Joseph Kitchell in Port Arthur, Texas, October the 10th, funeral service for Joseph Kitchell, age 3, son of Mr. and Mrs. C.M. Kitchell Jr., who died here Friday afternoon, were to be held at 4 p.m. Saturday from the J.E. Grammar Chapel, with the Reverend Ed Holt officiating. Burial will be in Green Lawn. Let's say at a 3-year-old. Right. So you can see how little information in this one here. We've got the name of the son. He was 3 years old. His parents were Mr. and Mrs. K.M. Kitchell Jr., so we know who Grandpa was. Grandpa would have been C.M. Kitchell Sr. When the 3-year-old died, and where they'll be buried and who was officiating. All right, let's have a look here. Here's an obituary, an actual one for Eakins. Very tiny, all the way down the bottom here. Let's blow this up. Eakins Harvey, funeral services for Harvey Eakins, 7. Why am I picking up kids? Son of Henry V. and Kate Eakins of Logan, who died Wednesday night at Logan, will be held Saturday, September the 18th at 2 p.m. in the Larkin Chapel, Ogden. So this is from the Salt Lake City News in Utah on September the 17th, and he died Wednesday night, so 2 nights would have been September 15th. So we have the names of the parents. We have when the son died, the 7-year-old, and he died in Logan, and he'll be buried on Saturday, the September the 18th. That'll be an 18 there because this is September 17th, and he died on the 15th. All right, let's see if we can find one that's not a child. All right, Kathleen Eakins, let's have a look at you. All right, let's make this bigger. Kathleen Eakins, a former resident of Brooklyn, died Wednesday at her home. Now, this is from February 11th. So she would have died at her home on February the 9th, 1927. And there is her address. Is right there. She was the daughter of the late James and Anne Dolan Eakins and formerly lived at 253 Warren Street. She was the sister of Teresa Eakins. So Teresa hasn't got married, and Annie Matthews. So Annie married somebody called Matthews. So that's another area of search. A mass of requiem will be celebrated tomorrow morning at 9:30 o'clock in the Church of Our Lady of Lourdes, Queens Village. Interment will be at Interment Calvary Cemetery under the direction of Mary M. Kearns Son Incorporated at 1504 Bushwick Avenue. So this one here, we've known that she's Kathleen Eakins. We've got the names of the parents here. We've got the names of her sister. We know one sister was married because they have the last name of Matthews. And she died on Wednesday. And this is in Friday's paper. So she died on February the 9th, 1927 in Brooklyn. And here was the address where she passed away. Actually in Belrose. She was in Belrose. And when she's getting buried and where they're having the requiem, that sort of thing. So then we come down here. And you've got more people down here. Some are shorter, some are longer. And you just read through them and you pull out the information about these people, which can help you search for them, make sure you've got the right person. And then we'll do the last one on this one is Robert Eakins. Let's blow him up. Funeral service, and this is on the Morning Call newspaper on the 27th of June, 1928, on Wednesday. Funeral services were held last evening, so this was on the 26th of June, for Robert Eakins at his home, 69 Pearl Street at 8 o'clock. Interment will be made today in Laurel Grove Cemetery. Mr. Eakins was born in Ireland 93 years ago, coming to Paterson while young. I'm assuming, Paterson, New Jersey is where he's living. It's written up here. Coming to Patterson while young, his wife, the late Maria Rutten. So now you've got his wife's name, died 9 years ago, and about when she died. His only survivors are a daughter, Mrs. George Osborne. So he has a daughter who married George Osborne. How do I know that? Because Mrs. George Osborne. This is where some of the time, based on the time, that you can get thrown with the name. But you have the husband's name. Now you just got to go find out who he got married to. And, of course, on the marriage certificate, it will have Robert Eakins if he was the father. And 4 grandchildren. So it didn't name the grandchildren. It just said 4 grandchildren. So there's that one. Now, the other one that we can go to, let me go back over here. Okay, stop sharing here. Go back over here. Hi again. All right, we're going to got one more that I'm going to show you, which is legacy.com. Legacy.com has a lot of different obituaries and things on it from all over the world. And again, I've just put an Eakins there. I put the time bracket from January of 2015 to December of 2020 just to see who came up. Oh, these ones are going to go into different screens. This is going to be fun. Let's see if I can do this a different way. No, I don't want. Yeah, that one will work. All right. This one's going to work, and we're going to change it really quickly. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Okay, stop sharing on that one. Let's see, how else can we do this? Actually, I know how else we can do it. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to open that one. Oh, that actually opened it in the same window. They've changed how they've done this. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so then we go over to legacy.com, and I just put an Eakins and this one. And we've got James Eakins here who came up. So we're going to have a look at his... Why did that not... Okay. There we go. All right. Now we're working. All right. So this is the obituary for James Eakins' obituary. It is done in the Lancaster Post. Up here is the name of the newspaper. Now, they used to do it where you would click on it, it would open in a different window. But now they have it where it opens in the same window with just a little blurb. And if you want to see the whole thing, you have to click on the newspaper to go see the whole thing. So Eakins peacefully on Saturday, the 26th of September 26, 2020 in Chorley Hospital. James, also known as Jim, in parentheses, aged 85, the beloved husband of the late Mary Brenda. So we know that his wife has passed and her name was Mary Brenda. Dearly loved dad of Peter, John, Claire, and Angela. So these are his 4 children in their age order, mostly. A cherished granddad to Christopher, deceased, Michael, Nicola, Paul, Andrew, Rachel, David, and John. A devoted great-grandfather to Joshua, Olivia, Owen, and Ryan. Our hearts are full with wonderful memories of Dad. Rest in peace, reunited with Mum. Good night. God bless Granddad. Private funeral service to be held at Preston Crematorium on Thursday, the 8th of October, and this was reported on the 3rd of October. Family flowers only, please. Donations preferred to St. Catherine's, a hospice care of, and all inquiries. And then it's got the funeral director's information there. And it was published in Lancashire Post on October the 3rd, 2020. So this is actually England, because of the, this is England. And then if anybody's got any memories, then they would share that information down here. So that's a pretty detailed one. You've got the name of the mother there, of his wife. You don't know who his parents are, though, because they're not listed. You've got the name of his 4 children right here. You've got the name of his grandchildren down here. And then the name of his great-grandchildren. Very loved man. So that's just one way. That's one. Let's see if we can do this in one. And this is how it comes up like this. To read the full obituary, trusted partners, you click on that and it takes you to that other page we were just on. Let's see. Richard Eakins. He was 1941 to 2020. Okay, again, you got a partial one. So let's have a look at the Luton today. We've got Eakins, Richard, George. Now, notice the dates. For you Americans, Americans, this is day, month, year. Day, because it's 23-4. You don't have a money 3. Or genealogy stuff is to be written day, month, year. And typically we prefer the month to be written in full, so there is absolutely no. Passed away suddenly at Nottingham City Hospital, greatly missed by all of his family owing to COVID. Close family funeral only, family flowers only, but donations to the endoscopy unit at Nottingham City Hospital. Inquiries, da. Okay, and nobody's shared anything. Sometimes it's fun to read what other people share. So that's another English one. I'm trying to find one with lots of information in there. Okay, let's read Margaret. Okay, so we've got 3 different posts. So let's have a look and see what we've got in here. Okay, so Margaret Eakins, with tears we watched you suffer, we watched you fade away. Our hearts are slowly breaking as you've fought so hard to stay. You did not want to leave us. You did not go alone. For part of us, our hearts' memories will be kept. You was 1 in a million, Nan, we never will forget. From your loving granddaughters, Claire, Karen, Mick, Rachel, Josh, Jake, JC, and Layla. Isn't that beautiful to put in there for their grandmother? Okay, so let's go over here. I wonder if this one's the same one. Let's think. Margaret Eakins, out of sight, but forever in our hearts, from your son Kevin and wife Julie, grandchildren Kevin, deceased, Julianne and Adam, and great-grandchildren Gracie, Oakley, and Alice. So here, right here, you have a family unit. From your son Kevin, his wife Julie, and Kevin is a son that's deceased, so you've got Julianne and Adam, and great-grandchildren Gracie, Oakley, and Alice. So that gives you a little bit more on this. So we've got all the grandkids' names now. Where the I hate when they auto start things. And let's have a look at the third one and see what it says. Oh, this is another one. So here, loving daughter Tina, Dave and family, David, Nicola, Thomas, AJ, deceased, Declan and David, Darren, Danny, baby Hal, and Christopher, Donna Marie, deceased, Stephen, Louise, Connor. Looking at this, we've got all these names. So we've got David, Nicola, Thomas, AJ, Declan, and David, period. From this down, I will say so Tina and Dave is mum and dad of this family, who is Tina's the daughter of Margaret. And then David, Nicola, Thomas, AJ, Declan, and David are the children of Tina and Dave. And then from Darren downwards would be the grandchildren of Tina and Dave. That is how I would read that. I would then confirm that by finding other records to back that up. So that's just a quick look at some obituaries to see what they're like and the information that they can hold. Stop sharing. I should be back. Come back. Yes. So that just shows you some of the information that's available on obituaries. And obituaries come in all shapes and sizes. Some could just be like Margaret Eakins died this date, buried this date. That's it. No mention of any family or anything in there. Which is kind of sad when I see those ones because I want to know more information about that person. So that's it from me for today. Remember, obituaries are great sources of information. You could even find information in there that might help you break through that brick wall. Remember, read all the lines of the obituaries. If you want help interpreting obituaries, just come up here and scan this QR code and set up a 30-minute discovery call with us, and we'll be more than happy to help you get started with researching obituaries. And with that, we're out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, Connor.